When they come, and they will, they'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Oh, I thought the beast had wandered off.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top.
Let me infiltrate the beat, concentrate the heat. If you ain't on my level, fuck it, let me be. I'll be going till it's all in motion, talking killing rappers. Then I hit my quota and my train of thought is more.
Sweet. All right. So what's good is Down on a Limb, hosted by me, Adam Mikuleshko. Today I got Tristan Roberts in the building. Tristan, thank you for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. So first things first, before I even do like song a day, how I even got this podcast started is my friend, Joe Nahas. I have to get him on this. I've been saying this for a little bit. I get him on. I just haven't. But he knows you through college, right?
Yeah, me and him, we go back to Georgia Southern, and we just kind of hit it off a couple, times, and became really good friends. And then we ended up getting stuck as roommates together on road trips, and me and him just became like really, really close. And we would always go out to the bars together when we got back home and stuff. So it was just one of those natural things that just kind of happened.
Yeah, no, it was funny. I had a teammate like that, but during this independent league I was just in, he left after the first 2 weeks, and I was like, all right, well, there goes that fun time. So we still stay in contact. We'll get together soon.
Yeah,
but no, keep going.
I was just saying, man, it's just one of those things, man. It's like once you find your best friend, and it's like you leave, like your season is like, wow, I don't know who to make friends with now, man. It just
it was
like, I don't want to make friends with anybody else. You're just gonna leave me like everybody else.
Well, that's what it was. It was I had such a bad luck thing when there's no such thing as bad luck in my mind, but when I was throwing with a couple, my first friend was Corey. He left. Then I switched to a new throwing partner. He got signed to the Twins. Then I switched to a new throwing partner. He left. I was like, all right, I'm over this.
Dude, it's like once you find that one throwing partner, it's like a marriage. You can't get somebody else, or they can't leave you. It's it's like they cheat on you. It's just it hurts. It hurts deep down when it happens. It's awful feeling.
It's a terrible feeling, but yeah. So how I started my podcast. What's the song of the day? What you feeling or vibing to?
I was vibing to "In Cold Blood" by AJ. It's a remix. It's from the movie Extraction. With Chris Hemsworth. So I definitely use that as pretty much my song for just when I'm in a concentrated mood, gaming or lifting. Like it's just my song I go to.
Well, you said you said you're playing Rocket League with Joe yesterday. Is that when it happened?
Oh yeah, when we're not hanging out together, we're always jumping on the sticks and duking it out that way. And those competitions get pretty competitive to the point of like sitting there calling each other names and putting money on the line. It gets a lot out of hand. It becomes very irresponsible very quickly, but we have a good time doing it.
That's too funny. Mine is do you know Arizona's DeVos? Did you ever hear that guy?
Yes, dude. He has a song called Race.
Yep. There's
I love it. I love his music, man.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple of times. He's a cool dude. But he just put out a song yesterday called Snowman. So we're gonna try to shout that out. It's a Christmassy song, but it's pretty cool. So but yeah, I was supposed to go to his concert at the end of November, but everything got canceled, I guess, because of COVID and whatnot. So then it got all rescheduled. I was like, oh, here we go.
One of my favorite artists out of every artist I listen to, he's not even a big time, is Mike.
Mike, dude, I love Mike.
Mike is my guy. I listen to him all the time. So I'd say this, even when I'm not listening to, In Cold Blood or whatever, I always got the highs on by Mike. Always.
Dude, that album is phenomenal. I just actually listened to that fully again. It was originally Mike Stud, but I saw his show when it first came out, and he's really chill. I like his stuff. He's getting better and better.
Yeah, just a little bit of like a vibe now. I like it. It's not so in your face and like everybody else. It's just kind of like you could have it on the background and just have it going and nobody really catch on. And then they hear a verse and it's like, oh wow, this is actually really good.
That's how it is, dude. That's how it is. So how we're gonna even start this out is Joe, when Joe told me about you, and he was like, bro, he's like, you kind of like you're a couple years older than both of us, but I know that what you go through, what you've gone through, and what you have, and it's an interesting story. And I know you've been begging to go on a podcast. I know Joe was telling me about that you wanted to go on a podcast really bad.
Dude, I see everybody's doing podcasts now. It's like the new trend, and I wasn't on one. I was like, I felt left out. I was like, let me jump on somebody's podcast. I don't know if, I have to be in the background sweeping, the studio. Like, hey guys, don't worry about me. I'm just sweeping the studio. I just want to be on one.
No, I'm happy. It's gonna be a cool highlight of you because you have a pretty cool journey and interesting story. So I'm happy Joe connected us. But so yeah, so I guess I'm gonna let you tell your story pretty much. You're a left-handed pitcher like me, and you just recently retired from baseball. So that's a hard step because I was talking to Joe about that. I'm 24, so the hope is to get signed, and like there's you have to have a plan B to plan Z type of thing. If it doesn't work out, but it's scary time. So as much as I keep progressing, the uncertainty of everything that's what causes it. So I just want to have you tell your story quick, and then we'll go off from there.
All right. Well, I guess the only way to tell a story would be from like the
The
beginning, and
beginning, yeah, we're gonna have a
yeah.
story, yeah.
I'm a JUCO bandit. Started off playing JUCO ball back in the day. Went to Georgia Highlands, uh, and I actually was there the second year the program had started. So it started a year before I actually showed up. My senior year of high school is when they actually officially began the program, and I got there. And the program was like in its very beginning stage. We even have a home field yet. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to play at Lake Point growing up by chance.
Um,
Emerson,
doesn't
Georgia, perfect game. It was like this brand new turf complex
I've
that
heard of
they
it. I don't think my team ever traveled there. We weren't around there.
okay, so it's a complex down in Emerson, Georgia,
Is it like
and
is it like a sports at the beach type of thing with Cal Ripken experience?
yeah, kind of. But so
Okay.
this one's got like it's got like it was a multi-purpose complex. Has a basketball, like 16 basketball court, gym. They were planning on building like 16 turf fields. I don't know what that they finished that project. It's got 6 soccer fields adjacent to the baseball field, so it's this whole complex. And my college didn't have a field, so we played out of there every day and practiced there and everything. And it was in a valley and it was miserable because it was always windy and it was just not the best place. But that's where I started, and that was fun. It was a great experience, and I was blessed to be seen by a coach named Parker Bangs, who is now, I believe, at Davidson. But
Okay, Steph Curry alma mater.
oh yeah, it's interesting. They don't even recognize him at Davidson because he never graduated. So they don't even have any
Wow.
recognition of him. Yeah, that's what I've heard because I got a couple friends back there that played or playing there that I coached. They're saying, yeah, the school doesn't want to recognize him because he hasn't graduated, doesn't give any funding or anything.
That's so scummy.
So yeah, but so he was fortunate enough to see me and gave me an offer, and I accepted it, and I went to small school, Presbyterian College in South Carolina, Clinton, South Carolina, middle of nowhere. And after being there I mean, it's the middle of nowhere. Like the closest Walmart's like 35 minutes away.
Of course it is.
Yeah, and the McDonald's when I was there was awful to the point of like if you're late at night, the dish is closed and you want some food, you got to go there. It's 45 minutes to get a McDonald's cheeseburger. It was rough. It was rough. Saying I felt like I was more JUCO in Division One than I was in JUCO at that point. It was bad. So after being there for a year and just not really just feeling it, I transferred to Georgia Southern, played there, sat out my redshirt year, which is 2018, due to the transfer rules. And then I
Mm.
went to play about final year, and first outing I had was against Auburn, and it was a rough one. Nowhere else, like nobody else to blame it. It was all on me. Walked in the winning run. It felt awful, and I just really never. They never really gave me another opportunity to say, just more like mop up roles. And
Yeah. Joe actually mentioned that to me. And that's where it just gets shitty. It's like kills the whole vibe.
well, this is what I've heard, and this is where I can wholeheartedly agree. People say that playing in Division One baseball, or even just college baseball in general, is harder than professional. And I say this in this context, not because of the pure talent, but because the coach's job is on the line more than it is in professional. Because the
Hmm.
minor leagues, they know they're going to lose a lot of games at some points because they're developing new guys. So that they want them to develop. They want them to go through that growing phase of, hey, I'm struggling with the new pitch, or hey, I'm, learning this new mechanical movement. and they're going to struggle trying to figure it out. Well, in college, you don't get that opportunity because, you got 5 more dudes right behind you that are ready to go, and the coach has to win every game because if he has a losing season, they're going to bring in somebody to get the program winning because they're not trying to develop people, they're trying to win immediately.
That
So
makes
I
sense.
feel
Yeah.
so if you screw up in college and you're not one of the dudes or somebody that's on money, they're gonna immediately push you on back burner and you're not gonna get another opportunity for a very long time versus professional, they're like, hey, you had a rough outing, we know what you're capable of, we signed you for a reason. We're gonna let you move, grow through this and move through this, and you're getting another opportunity within 5 days. So that's when I say that college baseball is harder because there's zero room for error versus professional. If you mess up, you get another opportunity 7 days, 2 days, a day later. So that was unfortunate that they never gave me an opportunity, in a big situation or for a while. And then
Were you a Sunday starter? Correct.
no, I would actually was a reliever all through college.
Oh
Well, that's
wow.
not true. I was a starter my freshman year of college, and I had appendicitis, and I ended up was out for a month and a half. And by the time I came back, we'd missed all of our non-conference games. So they said we're not going to pitch you. We're going to let you just play the outfield and hit because you've missed a whole month. You haven't been throwing, and it's not your fault. It's just you never were got on the mound. And by the time I was back on the mound, I was in a reliever role, and that kind of stuck with me the rest of my college career because everybody's like, he's lefty, he throws kind of hard, so we're just gonna put him towards the end of the game. And
Wow.
then the funny thing is I love starting. I love having routine. I love waking up knowing, all right, this is what I have to do today. This is how I have to get my body prepared, and this is what I'm gonna push my body to. But reliever was like every day I have to be at the same level, regardless of how I'm feeling, regardless of how I threw the day before, or how my body was feeling after working out. I liked it, but it just wasn't like the best situation for me. And then it was ironically after college, I was blessed to be signed by the Cleveland Railroaders, and they made me their fifth starter in their rotation. So
Wow.
yeah, so I went from back end bullpen to starter with like zero transition period. It was pretty wild and crazy, to be honest.
Wow. So that's because Joe with the Cubs, I know that he was relieving and went to starting, and I'm the same way. I'm a starter. But then this year I was like back and forth, and with reliever, I get that pain, dude. That shit's hard. It's like the put the toll in your body, and then you just threw. All right, I threw really great, but now I'm really tired, and then you have to be ready for the next day.
Yeah, it's literally. I'm trying to remember who told me this. I was talking to one of my old teammates, and he had thrown, I think it was like 3 days in a row. And I walked up to him. I was like, dude, how you feeling today? He goes, I feel awful. I was like, you hanging? And he goes, yeah, my arm is pretty dead right now. I said, are you up or are you down today? Are you on the active, roster this evening? He goes, I'm on the active roster every day. I was like, you just told me your arm is hanging. And he goes, it's going to hang every day after this too. It's just part of the game at this point. You just got to find a way to get through it. I'm like, I don't miss that life of just not being able to even throw a ball because I'm so sore, but yet I have to make it happen.
Well, dude, I even had a kid in my team this year. He had Tommy John surgery, and he wasn't supposed to be coming. He pushed himself to go back into it real quick. So they haven't thrown a lot on my team, and like to the point, like his arm, like he would have a start, and then he wouldn't throw for the next 5 days. He just wouldn't throw at all. That's how he was. He felt great about it, but it's your arm gets to a point where it gets too tired, and it's not that's it. There has to be like enough pitching staff to be able to bounce off of that.
Well, that was probably part of our issue was when I was in Cleveland. When the first month that I was there, we were always short an arm because right as the season started up to spring training, we had 4 dudes go down with injuries, and it wasn't all arm injuries. It was like one guy had a calf strain, one dude had a hip, one dude had shoulder, and another dude had finger issue or something along those lines, or something with his hand to where he couldn't grip the pitch.
Wow.
And we were down four relievers for the first half of this for the first quarter. It seemed like, and every day we were like trying to mix and match. Who are we gonna throw? Who are we gonna? Who's in the pen? Who's fresh enough to go? So
Hmm.
it's amazing. Like how in some situations you have all these guys are like, oh, who are we gonna throw, even though they're sore, and then they're like, oh God, who can we throw? Yeah, who's healthy and